Good morning. I'm on the Womble Trail, but the purpose of this video is not the Womble Trail. I'll come back and do a video about this one later because I like to hike a trail first, and this is my first time on this one. But the purpose of this video is because, so I don't remember how long ago, but a while back, I had made a video where I took out some borrowed hammocking gear, and I came to the consensus that for the weight, for the difficulty of moving around, the difficulty of organizing your gear and packing up and everything else, for the most part, I don't think hammock camping's for me. Well, fast forward to today, and I've got some back issues that have been getting worse, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to handle sleeping on the ground. So I have put some more thought into hammock camping, and I've been doing a lot of reading, learning a lot, lurking on hammockforums.com and YouTube videos like Shug, who does a lot of tutorial stuff. And I've pretty much come up with solutions to all the things that made me not like hammock camping before. My duplex weighs about 22 ounces with the stakes, and this hammock setup that I borrowed from my friend Laura weighs 3 pounds. For something this heavy and bulky, it better be damn comfortable. So as you can see, the bulk is a little bit more, and it's really not that noticeable. There's a lot of backpacking gear for hammocking that's out there that is geared towards being lightweight. So I did a lot of research before I started buying gear, and I ended up with a kit that's gonna put me about 1/4 pound to 1/2 pound more than my tent setup, and that's gonna be weather dependent. That has to do with how heavy it ends up being. Whew. I've been climbing a mountain. Anyway, let's get on to camp, and I'll show y'all what I ended up getting, and we'll go over the different things that I learned and what the solutions were to the problems that I found with it last time when I said I didn't like hammocking. Whew, okay. I'm gonna keep hiking and catch my breath. I'll see y'all at camp. All right, so we have now been on the trail for 2 nights, and I've had a chance to tinker with this. So let's go over the things that were a problem in the first video of why I said I didn't really like it. I was able to get dressed, the lower half of me laying down, but when it came time to get my top part changed, I couldn't do it in the hammock. So I had to get out of the hammock and sit on the edge of the thing so that I could change the top part. It's supposed to get down into the 40s tonight, so which means in the morning when I wake up, it's also going to be in the 40s, and oh, that's going to suck. I'm not looking forward to that, and I don't know what the fix for that is. So this was the fix. Is what I did is I looked into Dream Hammock, and they have a sag so that there's actual headroom inside the hammock. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So right here, I can actually sit in this thing, and I have, like, my head sits right about here. So I can totally get dressed inside the hammock. Where am I gonna put all my stuff? I'm used to my tent. I have all my little places where I put my little things, and, you know, place for everything in its place. And in a hammock, I can't just have everything in there with me. So we'll see how that goes. Oh my God, I feel so disorganized. Let me show you this thing. I just have stuff everywhere. There's this like cool little shelf where you can put stuff in. I've got so much stuff in there and I just don't know where to put it all. I've got stuff everywhere, and then some stuff I put back in my pack. So to solve this problem, it turns out they make all kinds of cool organization stuff for within hammocks. And the things are peak shelves, and I put a peak shelf at each end of my hammock. And I also have a Ridgeline organizer, which is awesome because I can put my cell phone in there. I get to put Pack Rat in there because, you know, Pack Rat goes everywhere I go. And I also take my pack and I hang it at one end of the suspension, and then I take my shoes and hang them at the other. So there's really a place to put everything. But the biggest thing that I learned is don't take too many things in the hammock. Only take what you need in there. And that was the problem, is coming from a tent, I was trying to take everything in with me. So you just can't do that, but it's okay. You don't need it anyway, right? So I'm gonna be using a pad on the bottom of mine because I don't have an underquilt, and neither did Laura. But you have to have some insulation underneath you because the air moving around below you can really suck the heat out of you faster than even the ground can. It's very, very comfortable, as long as your arms don't slide off the pad and your body doesn't slide off the pad. Otherwise, you wake up in the middle of the night and you are, no joke, cold. So, guess what happened to me like multiple times last night? I woke up, I was half off the pad, so I'd have one cold butt cheek and then the other one warm, and it was really confusing. Obviously, the fix for that is the underquilt. So yeah, that was a lot of fun with the pad slipping out from underneath me. And I mentioned in the video that I know that an underquilt would fix the problem, and that's what I have now. I have an underquilt, and that's just, it makes things so comfortable and so much better. And I have no more CBS, otherwise known as cold butt syndrome. I'm afraid I'm going to be kind of cold. This wind keeps switching around. When I put the hammock up, I made the tarp so that the wind was blowing this way against it, and that way it was blocking the wind. Well, then the wind switched around and started blowing through here like a wind tunnel. I don't know how much I'm going to get into this. So they do actually make a tarp for this problem with the wind switching around, and it has doors. So those doors can be rolled back on the ends, or they can be closed. So if you happen to pitch like I had that day, and the wind is hitting the tarp like it should, but then all of a sudden it switches around and turns it into a wind tunnel, you just shut the doors and it's done. And those are known as winter tarps. And the DCF tarp that I'm going to get eventually, which is going to be like 8.5 ounces, is going to have those doors on it. I've got my whole morning routine down to the point it takes me about an hour from the time my alarm goes off to the time I've got feet on the trail hiking. It starts off where I wake up in the morning, I unzip my mesh, and right there in my vestibule, I start my coffee water. And that also helps heat up the inside of the tent, which helps me get out of my sleeping bag because nobody wants to get out of their sleeping bag when it's freezing ass cold outside. So I have no vestibule. I don't see how I'm going to reach my stove. I don't know how I'm going to do this. So the answer to that ended up being really, really simple. You just hang the hammock lower so you can reach the ground. And making coffee is super easy. Not a problem at all. Another thing that I didn't talk about in the original video was just about how long it takes to set these things up. So I found a thing called the Anaconda, and it's basically a big giant sock that you put over your hammock, and it includes the underquilt, the top quilt is already inside, and then the hammock, and you just put this thing over all of it and it's done. And then when you get to camp, you just hang it up, pull it back, and everything's right there, and you can just be done. All you gotta do is hang your tarp up. So it comes originally with a DCF bag, but I messaged John over at Trailheadz who makes it, and he told me, yeah, sure, no problem, and he made me one without the DCF bag. So it's pretty cool, and it works well for how I pack. So I have had an opportunity to use this thing for 2 nights now, and I'm going to warn you, when you guys come out here, it's weird. It just seems like it takes forever and you don't know what to do with all your stuff. And the second night, things got better, and then to the point where now I understand that once I get a routine together, it's gonna be a lot more efficient, except that right now it's just, I just feel very befuddled with everything and I keep forgetting things, but I know it's gonna get smoother, and I'll tell you, for how good I'm sleeping in this thing, it's worth the hassle. And it's just a little bit of hassle, but it's totally worth it because I have woken up without any back pain. In fact, last night I went to bed with my back hurting and I woke up and it was better. So it's 100% worth it, and I've decided that I am going to take this thing on my through hike in the spring because I'm going back to the Washita Trail. I'm going to get that bitch. So I guess that's it. As Shug would say, we're all clear in Sector 7. See y'all later on the next video.